back with violence. Like I just not understand. Like what's the actual difference?
Violating the rights of people in a peaceful protest is an unconstitutional thing to do.
Who gives a fuck about the Constitution? The president doesn't even follow the Constitution.
Oh
Who cares?
my God! Because
and the point of a protest, the point of the protest is to advocate against something, and that can
okay. But at the same time,
can I finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So the point of a protest is literally to advocate against something. So even if that is the government or the Constitution, if we want to bring up the Constitution, you can do that. You absolutely can advocate against the government if that's what you so choose. Right to protest is a thing.
Wait,
that's also why we have the Second Amendment. I completely agree with you.
Wait, that's fine, but violating people during a peaceful protest is unconstitutional. Now, if it's not a peaceful protest, so then why are you
calling in the military against peaceful protests?
Because they're throwing bricks and they're setting cars on fire, and it's not just.
I thought it was peaceful.
You can't just sit and act like it's just a peaceful protest.
You just said peaceful.
It's not just a peaceful protest.
So what? They don't have to be peaceful. And my whole thing,
okay, but that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to be peaceful,
my whole thing, right, is like if we want protests to be peaceful, right, and we're saying, hey, responding to violence isn't the answer, then you literally could just make the same argument that calling the military in to add more violence also isn't helping the situation or having the outcome that you wanted to have, right? Then they shouldn't be calling the military on their citizens, correct?
When the borders, because
if we against violence,
through the gates, you fat bitch. Some fucking
playing traffic.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah, that was
that was rude.
Yeah,
you're just calling the military so people are safe.
I also want y'all to recognize too that that's violence.
Right, that's violence. We can't pick and choose when violence is okay.
Wait, what is violence?
What he just said and it was violence. That is inciting violence. The way that he just
okay, but on the same note,
I don't know why we're talking at I don't know why we're talking at the same time, guys. Seriously. Again, bringing to your attention that is also a form of violence. Just because it's not physical violence, it's still violence.
That's like a hate crime.
So, I guess my thing is, if you're sitting here saying, okay, protests don't have to be peaceful, I get that, but if you're going to go out and set cars on fire and throw bricks, is it weird when the guys with pew-pews show up and start doming people?
No, I don't think, first of all, I don't care about cars. I don't care about property, period. I think that if property is destroyed...
about your opinions.
I don't think
would pew-pew somebody on my property.
You don't care about property? Are you like some sort of
If I knew, I wouldn't get in trouble.
Fat fuck.
Darth, you asked me a question, now you're cutting me off.
Sorry.
Right, and I really don't want to have to start dropping y'all, but it's kind of annoying now. I have a habit of asking questions and then talking in the middle of my sentence. So no, I don't care about property. I don't care if cars are destroyed or I don't care. I care about people. So even if property is being destroyed, the response shouldn't be unaliving people. Somebody threw a rock at a window, somebody set a car on fire. I don't think that now means that they should be unalived.
Okay, but what about throwing bricks at people?
At people?
We're not just throwing bricks through windows.
Who threw a brick at a person?
At people.
There's a shit ton of videos of people throwing bricks at people.
Point me to one video where somebody threw a brick at another person in a protest. Please. Show me one.
Yeah, tag me in that. What I've
one
seen
video.
is the police shooting rubber bullets at people.
Wait,
Who threw a brick at somebody?
I agree that unaliving people for destroying property is extreme, but people shouldn't be doing that. I think there should be still consequences.
I disagree.
You disagree
what if it's your car?
That's just
what if your car gets destroyed?
I just kind of find it funny that y'all are saying, "Oh no, we shouldn't be inciting violence." When there are peaceful protests, the military, the United States militia, literally will show up, and they are the ones who are inciting violence. Like, what do you need rubber pew?
I literally want to say,
I don't know why we're talking. First of all,
I'm gonna drop you because you're talking, you keep doing it. Next time, I'm literally just gonna drop you. It's annoying.
And you're also yelling, back up from your microphone.
You're 40.
But the literal United States militia are the ones who literally show up to the protests and make it violent, even when people are trying to be nonviolent, to where they are the ones who are inciting the violence. And then it kicks off because people are fighting back, which they have the right to do. It doesn't make sense to me that it's okay for them to show up with rubber pew-pews, but when the citizens show up with pew-pews and they pew-pew back, Even though the United States militia was the one who pew-pewed first, now all of a sudden these people are wrong. These people have to go to jail. And this started non-violently, but the United States military is the one who is actually inciting the violence.
Okay, well, so wait, hold on. Two things, right? Number one, America has a track record of, like, whenever protests start peacefully, they start to go crazy and they start to do things. They don't know how to control themselves. That's one. Two, there are people that don't like those protests, right? There are people that will do horrible things when people are peacefully protesting. That's why the military is there, to make sure things don't go wrong.
Right, so you agree with responding to violence with violence.
Wait, to protect people.
Oh, okay, so you agree, right? You agree that there are some cases where responding to violence with violence is okay.
Yeah, that would be a form of self-defense.
Cool. So again, so we're talking about governments, right? Or protests that are advocating against like inhumane treatment or how people are being oppressed by a system. Why shouldn't they have the right to respond in that protest violently?
Because the people involved are not responsible there. Right, the militia there are not responsible. The militia that is present during those protests aren't responsible for the inhumane treatment. Right? You're destroying
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
So who's responsible?
They're just doing their job.
So who's responsible for it?
You mean who's responsible for it?
Who's responsible for it? Are you telling me that the military is not a branch of government? Are you telling me that policymakers are not a part of government? Like, how are they not a part of it?
They are. But
so what I want to ask,
their jobs.
What'd you say?
I'm saying
what I want to ask is, like I said, this is kind of a personal thing.
I'm saying they are, but the militia are just doing their jobs.
But you just said it's okay to respond to violence with violence.
When it comes to protecting people.
Okay. These protests are advocating about inhumane treatment of people.
Okay,
hello?
By being violent, which
change the
law.
So I would like to ask.
He said that there are cases where it's okay to respond to violence with violence. So this would be the case. Now he wants to add another qualifier of, but that's their job. So he doesn't actually care about the violence that's happening.
You're worse than Trump. You keep muting me. You're limiting my free.
Stop, Daddy. Nobody
guys, seriously, guys.
You're limiting
nobody
my
introduced you.
Y'all are over talking, and I need y'all to I get this conversation is passionate, but I need y'all to bring it down a couple notches. And Darth, again, you are yelling. I need you to back up from your microphone, please, and thank you.
I also need y'all to understand you don't have free speech here. Free speech is supposed to protect you from the government and repercussions from speaking out against the government. Free speech doesn't mean you get to come up in here and say whatever you want to say, and we don't filter it out or control it, or we don't gain order while people are talking. So that's not what free speech is. I need y'all to really understand what free speech is. Y'all are so gung-ho about this country. Understand that, please. And second of all, we have video proof of cops actually destroying city and government property to make it seem like people are inciting violence.
But they don't care about violence. They care about who's doing the violence.
Yeah, and they don't care that the cops are doing it. I'm sorry to interrupt about that. Hey, Pooh.
Hey, Pooh, how are you?
Hi, Nubia.
So basically, when an immigrant comes to the United States illegally, and then they ICE catches them or whatever and deports them, obviously that's unfair to the family and the child. But what about when an American citizen just is living in America? We'd argue that the Mexican immigrant, or wherever the immigrant's from, is just trying to make a better life for themselves. What about if I, as an American citizen, have a child and I want a better life for us, so I go rob a bank? I did something illegal, and now I get separated from my child. That's just how the law works.
Yeah, but I don't think that necessarily, I don't think the law is just or that it's right. So I don't think that because something is written into our law and policy means that this is an okay structure to follow. No, I think that there are a lot of laws that exist that shouldn't.
Such as?
I don't think that there's. I don't think that there's any. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You go first.
All right, I was just saying, one of the things I don't think that theft should be criminalized, right? When we have studied theft and empirical data in regards to theft, we see that majority of theft that happens is in correlation to poverty. So it's we are putting them in a position where they have to steal for basic necessities. I don't think that that's something that should be criminalized.
So I should just be allowed to do whatever?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't believe that robbing a bank should necessarily be like illegal or a criminal offense, because of the fact that we know that the rich people don't need to rob from a bank because they already have the resources necessary to be comfortable and survive. Meanwhile, people who are poor, they don't have the resources necessary in order to be able to be comfortable and survive. So I don't think that should. I don't think that. I don't think that should be a criminal offense at all, because of the fact that that person is doing it because they need the resources.
But what if it's someone who needs the resources and they take all of your resources and then now you have nothing? Is that fair?
Can I pew then?
I don't think it's fair, but it's not. Again, it's the system's fault that's doing it. Like the system, I think it's unfortunate for the system to put people in a position where they have to steal and then criminalize them for stealing. Like I just think.